Hello and welcome back to ABG Investor Days. Our next presentation will be with Kopy Goldfields, and with me today I have the CEO of Kopy Goldfields, Mikhail Damrin, who will give a 20-minute presentation, and then after that we will have time for a short Q&A. So with that being said, Mikhail, I will leave it up to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our presentation of Kopy Goldfields today in the morning. My name is Mikhail Damrin, and I'm CEO of the company. The presentation is about Kopy, who we are, and whom we would like to be. Next slide, please. Kopy have been in the market for quite a long while. We have been started in 2007, and we have been listed on Nasdaq First North since 2010. However, for many years, we have been a junior gold exploration company, doing more or less a traditional junior gold exploration company story. We have been taking projects at early stage, greenfield, do exploration, trying to be smart with the exploration techniques, and then make a discovery, and then based on the discovery via the sole project or the joint venture. And we have been fairly successful with our exploration exercises overall. Last year, we merged with the company Amur Zolota, and since the end of 2020, we are now developing as a gold producer. So last year we produced 53,000 ounces of gold. Target for this year is 56 to 59, and we're on track so far. And target for 2025 is actually to double production, go beyond 100,000 ounces via organic growth. 100,000 ounces is roughly 3.3 metric tons of gold. We, as a company, we do exploration, construction, development, mining, and then site reclamation and restoration of the forest. We're listed on the First North Nasdaq. We have market cap around 2 billion Swedish kronor. We have quite a few shareholders, more than 5,000, and we're preparing for listing on the main market, Nasdaq in Stockholm. Looking on the map, we operate in two regions of Russia, Irkutsk and Khabarovsk regions. We have offices both in Irkutsk, in Bodaibo, and in Khabarovsk, and we have an office in Moscow, and we have the parent company office in Stockholm. Next slide, please. From the investor perspective, why Kopy Goldfields should be different from many other small, mid-sized gold producers and explorers. And I think there are sort of 5 pillars which really differentiate our story from many others. First, we are a producer. So we are not explorer anymore. We have a strong cash flow from the current operation. We made more than $100 million revenue last year, $36 million EBITDA. So we are a strong gold producer with a strong cash flow, strong balance sheet, low gearing. Second thing is we have a balanced asset portfolio. And for a mining company, asset portfolio is a priority since we want to be a miner for many years. Through mining, we deplete our reserves. Through exploration, we replenish them. And that all is within the portfolio. So portfolio must be balanced. And we are proud to have a very diversified, high quality portfolio of projects. We have a track record of successful project development. So as a junior explorer in Kopy Goldfields, we have a track record of successful explorations, doing it efficiently and at low budget, coming towards a big discovery. And Krasny is one of the examples. Through Amur Zolota, the company we merged last year, we have very strong experience in mining, construction, and development. Amur Zolota, historically in Russia, is one of the oldest gold producers. It was started in the mid-70s as a cooperative of alluvial miners. And over the years, the company has been developed hundreds, dozens of alluvial deposits, and it closed actually 4 bedrock mines, fully produced, and then did reclamation and restoration of the area. So there is a strong experience of running mining projects within our company. We have a growth story. We are a fairly small producer at the moment, 56,000 ounces target for this year. However, we want to double production, and we have a clear strategy for that. And as a mining company, we are very concerned to be treated as a green miner. So we committed to the best ESG practices, and we spend further some time on that. Next slide, please. Looking on the portfolio of our projects and the regions where we operate, it's Irkutsk and Khabarovsk, both in Russia are primary mining destinations. In Irkutsk, we have explorations and pre-development project. One of them is Krasny, which is located not far from Sukhoy Log, and Sukhoy Log is one of the biggest undeveloped gold deposits worldwide, 60 million ounces of gold reserves to be produced. And in Khabarovsk, we have a few exploration, development, and mining projects. Hello, I'm awfully sorry. There are some issues with the electricity in the building.
Fine now. You can go ahead.
Sorry for that. Khabarovsk and Irkutsk, two major destinations for mining companies, and they are very much familiar in terms of infrastructure, in terms of benefits for mining companies provided by the regional authorities. Next slide, please. Portfolio of assets. That's, as I started with that, that's a priority for a gold mining company. And we have projects in all stages of development. We have projects in production, which are Yubileyny, Perevalny, and Places. We have Malutka project, which is in construction and development. And we have Krasny, which is in pre-development stage. We finalize our exploration activities within Krasny. And we have many projects which are at early stage exploration. And we are confident that with our experience, we will be able to run and move some of them into production and construction over the years. Krasny is the project which we developed in Irkutsk region together with our partner. It's GV Gold, one of top 10 Russian gold producers. Overall, the total resources of the group is around 2.8 million ounces, and reserves are around 1.3 million ounces. Malutka project is the project which in construction at the moment. It's going to be a heap leach gold production, and we target to commission gold production in 2023. So this year is the first year of our construction activities in Malutka. It's located in Khabarovsk. It's fully controlled by our company. And then two projects which are in production, Yubileyny and Perevalny. Yubileyny is the underground mine. It was started in early 2000 as an open pit, and later in 2007, 2008, it was converted into underground. Currently, it's developing as an underground. We have a processing plant on site. So the total capacity currently 130,000 tons of ore per year. And this quarter, we increase capacity up to 250,000 tons of ore per year. So it's a fairly conventional plant, doing gravity concentration, flotation, and then leaching, producing Dora bars as the end product, which we further send towards the refinery, producing bullions. Jubilei, following the current expansion, will go to the further expansion up to 400,000 tons of ore by 2025. And what we see currently from ongoing explorations, we see that mineralization is down deep is increasing, the thickness of mineralization is increasing, the grade is increasing. So this project will certainly stay in mining far above 230. Перевальная is an open pit, started 2016. We have a processing plant on site, which is producing gravity and flotation concentrates, which are further leached, sent to Jubilei and leached into Dora bars. This year, we finalize open pit and then further develop the project as an underground mine operations. This year, we finalized construction of a heap leaching, parallel operations on Перевальная, and we will commission them next year. On top of that, we have a few places which have been in production for many years, and which we will see in production for a few years ahead as well. Next slide, please. Mining and processing, just this is a simple diagram to show where we are and what we're doing. So we, within Перевальная, we have two open pit, Приятная and Брекчевая, which we will deplete by the end of this year. And then we move the ore towards the processing plant at Перевальная, which is producing gravity and flotation concentrates, which are further moved to Юбилейное plant and then leached towards the Dora bars. And at Юбилейной, we have a красивый underground mine, which is producing ore, which is processed at the neighboring plant, and then producing via gravitation and flotation circuits, producing Dora bars. So Перевальная crushing capacity, 200,000 tons of ore per year, gravity and flotation, and 160,000 tons of ore per year. In Jubilei, we're increasing capacity to 250 during this quarter, and then we will increase it further up to 400,000 tons of ore by 2025. Next slide, please. From the projects which are already in production, which is Перевальная and Jubilei, plus Malutka project, which is construction already, and plus some places, production, we target to reach organic growth, production target of above 100,000 ounces, very much doubling production by 2025. On top of that, we clearly have any potential coming from Krasny. Krasny is currently 1.8 million ounces gold deposit, and through the ongoing exploration, we target both convert resources into reserves. We will issue an update JORC resource report next year following the current exploration stage, and then further move it into development and production. The project has a potential to grow up to 3 million ounces since its mineralization is open along strike and down deep. So Krasny, this is an extra potential for production. We also see potential from non-organic growth and also from exploration. Total capex estimated for 2020, 2025 to move us up to 100,000 ounces production target is around $130 million, which will be financed from the current cash flow and already existing loan facilities. Next slide, please. As a mining company, we are committed to ESG best practices, following conversion into mining last year after the merger with Amur Zolota. We commissioned a review of our ESG practices. Since as an explorer, we have been facing them towards the less extent. As a miner, there is a clearly bigger demand to follow the best ESG practices. So we have done a full review of our operations with the assistance of British consultants on ESG. So we identified a few gaps. This year we are coming with a strategy on what we are going to achieve on the ESG agenda in terms of emissions, in terms of health and safety, in terms of dealing with tailings and environment, and in terms of human resource. So as a mining company, we have been operating in Khabarovsk region for more than 30 years. We have excellent relations with local authorities, and we are probably the only employer within the area where we operate. And we are probably the only source of assistance in case something goes wrong for local municipalities and infrastructure. So we assist a lot towards the local communities. We have introduced ESG committee within the board of directors. We have two top managers within the management team dealing with sustainability and ESG issues. So ESG is clearly on top of our priority to develop further. Next slide, please. We had an excellent quarter, third quarter this year. What we see is the production has been increasing within the company during the year. We started a bit slow with Q1 when we had some consequences of COVID outbreak in December last year, and then it actually influenced January and February operations. However, we have been able to pick up on production through the year, and we are on track towards our production target. We enjoy a fairly strong gold price last year and this year, which leads to solid record revenues, strong EBITDA through the year. Next slide, please. We have a strong balance sheet. We have, by the end of the third quarter, we had $5 million cash at the balance sheet. We also have gold in stock, which could be sold within 1-2 days. So it's bank bullions kept with the bank for a value of around $13 million. Net debt, $57 million. Net debt to EBITDA fairly low, 1.3. We have also unutilized credit facility of $10 million, which will allow us to proceed with capital construction projects. Next slide, please. Why Russia? In terms of mining, exploration, mineral resources, Russia is #1 destination in the world. Russia is gold rich. In the area where we operate, we are the only industry. We're really the only provider for employment for the local populations, and then we're the only source of assistance for the local authorities. We are one of the most significant taxpayers within the areas where we operate, so we have full support from authorities. There are a lot of talent and skilled human resources in Russia, and mining in Russia has started more than 150 years ago. Taxation in Russia is overall very favorable in mining, and there are a lot of tax benefits for mining projects in Siberia and the Far East. The permitting process is fairly straightforward, a low production cost, favorable currency regulations, and a fairly established market infrastructure. Next slide, please. So as a company, we have a fairly ambitious agenda going ahead. We are going to double our production up to above 100,000 ounces in 2025, and we're on track on that. We have strong financial performance, strong balance sheet, low gearing. Total capital costs for 2020, 2025 to reach towards our production target is around $130 million, which we are going to finance by cash flow and existing facilities. We are already running production expansion on Юбилейное, Перевальное, on Malutka. Krasny project is a sort of extra potential for about 100,000 ounces gold production, and Krasny is in the last stage of exploration. We are committed to the ESG best practices, and we are in the process of implementing them. And we are targeting main market listing on Nasdaq Stockholm. Next slide, please. That's it. Thank you very much. We have a fairly strong snowfall today in Moscow. I assume this is the reason why the electricity is not that stable within the building. Sorry for that.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you so much, Mikhail, for your interesting presentation. I'll go right ahead with the Q&A session right now. So first of all, your target for 100,000 ounces production by 2025. As you mentioned, it doesn't include the Krasny potential. You said what the total reserves were in Krasny, but is it possible to say right now how much Krasny could add to the annual production in 2025?
Yes and no, and it's the simple answer. The thing is, we're developing it with a partner. So we first, in development of a project, it's a combination. It's actually how to develop it technically, how to finance, and really take a decision to do that. So since we have a partner, we need to take all the decisions in relation to Krasny together. So if we would develop it alone, we would probably have it in production maybe already in 24. Then there are different ways how it can be produced at higher scale, lower scale, and then can be developed in stages. But as we see, with 2-3 million operation capacity, it could produce somewhere between 70 to 150,000 ounces per year through the mine life. So I'm not sure that it will add us something within 25, but within 26 for certain. That's answering it. So as a joint venture, I cannot really guarantee, since we haven't yet decided with a partner on how we will develop it together. So we finalized the current exploration stage, which is fully committed and agreed. And then following the exploration stage, we will have the next round of discussions with our partner on how to move the project further.
Okay, and looking a bit at your cash cost, you report this on group level, but not for your individual assets. So do the cash costs differ significantly between your different assets? And also, as a follow-up, where are you on sort of the global cash cost curve?
Yes, the cash cost for different projects vary, and vary a lot. So there are seasonal variations. There are variations quarter by quarter, month by month. So probably the most expensive on the cost side are the places. However, with the current prices, they are making fairly strong profit. But they are the most expensive. The cheapest operations currently are at Перевальное, but we see that going forward, we will go with the heap leach operations, especially on Malutka, and Malutka are going to be the cheapest within our portfolio. So that's it. Yes, they vary, and Malutka will be the cheapest. And comparing with other companies within Russia, we are somewhere in the middle. We are around 850, 800 to 850 TCC. And then comparing globally, we are certainly on the lower level. We are below 1,000. So in Russia, traditionally is treated as in terms of the mining cost, is fairly inexpensive jurisdiction.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question here, so I'll ask you, the gold that you sell, do you sell it primarily at spot price, or do you use derivatives to lock up most of your gold production?
We sell most of the gold on spot price. However, we have some hedges as a very much a request from our debt financing. So we're using hedging, using like the lower level and the upper level, sort of a corridor. And then if the gold price is within the corridor, then basically there is zero effect on the operation. And the corridor is between 1400 to 2900. So we're very much selling everything on the spot.
Okay. With that, I'd like to thank you so much for your presentation and for answering all of my questions. I'll just leave it up to you for some final remarks, if you'd like to say anything.
Yes, thank you very much for your attention. So Kopy, so we're a growing story. So we have been maybe not in focus of many investors since we have been a small company for years, but now it's changing. And we have fairly strong ambition to grow above 100,000 ounces 2025, and we have everything to achieve that, and we will achieve that. Thank you very much.